So good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, especially Anurima and the team for organizing this. And you might be wondering why Prashant from a food division background coming and speaking on retail, but I think this is going to be a first exposure for me to understand more on retail. And we've got this wonderful panelist over here. I'm going to be learning as well as we speak. And thank you, audience, for participating. So I think the today's topic that we are widely talking about is about omnichannel and what it's going to be in terms of its experience and how it's going to go on. Before I go, I mean, I know you have the panelists. Do you all want to do a self-introduction more or anything that you want to give up a bit of 5 minutes? Quick, I leave the floor to Mark. Mark?
Afternoon, everybody. This genuinely is the graveyard slot, as they say, isn't it? After lunch. There you go, try and keep some engagement going. So Mark from Liwa. I've been the CEO for Liwa for 10 years. So we do retail, e-com, wholesale, distribution, licensing. And I've been in the region for 15 years. So we trade throughout all the GCC countries through a variety of channels.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Syed Habib. I'm part of Danube Group, and I take care of Danube Home. Danube Home is the only 100% full, omni-channel retailer, which is a complete home solution under one roof, from home decor to homeware to home furnishing. I take care of this business, and I'm looking forward for a good session so that we can share our experience and learn from each other. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hazal Maraş. I'm working for Uzon Global Turkey as the general manager. We've been doing the cross-border e-commerce trade for the past 3 years. Like, we've been sending goods to Russia from Turkey and like UAE countries and India. And now I'm looking forward to discuss all the new opportunities in those markets.
Really, thank you as well.
Good afternoon. I'm Pamela Lilburn-Opie from Linen Obsession. We are a retailer and supplier of beautiful, mainly bedding brands, beautiful bed linen towels, etc. We also do fashion and some other categories around the homeware area. So I'm really delighted to be on this panel today because omnichannel is one of our passions. We actually started our online stores as an online platform first before we did the digital. So, sorry, I'm messing all my words up, aren't I? Okay, let's start again. We started first online, and then we went to the physical stores. And we launched from day one as omnichannel, so we're 3 years into that journey, and I think it's certainly the way of the future. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to hear a lot. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. So myself, Vijay Samyani from Concept Brands Group. And in the Concept Brands Group, we have retail stores called Brands for You outlets here in UAE and in GCC. Other than that, we also own CBBC event, which is the consumer event, which we've been doing it from last many years. That we're doing it here in UAE and now expanding in Saudi and Kuwait and Oman and various different parts of GCC. So proud to be here, and among all these my colleagues from the same industry, I'm sure I'm going to get good experience and many new things which maybe perhaps I don't know. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me this.
Welcome, it's a pleasure here as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Debanshu Adhikari. I have just moved to the GCC, to Dubai, specifically around a year back. I'm working with a company called Western International Group. It's a large group of, I would have hyper stores and consumer products that they are into. We are also into manufacturing. I'm building a business called Mark and Save out here, which is a hyper retail store, around 2 years old. We have already around 19 stores across the GCC and spreading very fast. I think that's the fastest that hypermarket has grown in the GCC. I'm proud to say that. Before that, sorry, I hope I didn't miss out too much. And before that, I worked with multiple organizations. My last organization was Reliance Retail in India, which is a conglomerate in India, built around 2,500 stores, worked with them for around 10 years, and then took the plunge out here. And learning a lot, and these events are really helping me also learn, understand the culture, and understand how this market operates, which is very different from what I come back from. Thank you so much.
Thank you, nice to see you, Devansh.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Siddharth Gopal Krishnan. I'm the COO of Netcore Cloud. It's a marketing automation platform and one of the largest across India, Southeast Asia, and we're growing fast in this region. What the platform essentially does is to help drive conversion rates and engagement for the e-commerce and retail space, omni-channel retail, some part of trading and app-based businesses, and also automotive and real estate. That's where we play. Prior to this, I spent 16 years in McKinsey, where I was a partner leading our digital transformation and business building practice for the region.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Siddharth. So yeah, I've got a wonderful wealth of people in this panel, and I'm really, really excited to take this session forward. So what I've done is, as I did mention before, that I'm from a food and beverage background, a very different strategy that we follow as opposed to retail. So for me as well, it's going to be a learning curve, and I'm open to the audience that you have more enough of time and questions to ask these panels. So in order to take this and being more engaging and trying to get as much as wealth of knowledge from these ladies and gentlemen over here, I've kind of divided the segment, we all as a company do have strategies and visions, right? So I really want to pick all your brains and just understand a bit on, especially after this pandemic, we all have gone back and changed our vision and strategy. So that's something which I really want to touch on, specifically with this route. So my first question is Devanshu, I want to ask you, how would you define a unified omni-channel, right, in terms of your experience in today's retail world, from probably your mark and save concept or from your brand?
I'll say it's a very nascent, if I speak about my own organization at the current place that I am, we are at a very nascent stage. We are trying to build on technology today. But I'll take a little bit back where I come from. It's a company which is high on technology. They adapt very fast, and I'll talk from that experience. When we talk about omni-channel and unified experiences, we just want to be everywhere, and that is not the reality. Unified is not about being everywhere. It's being everywhere seamlessly. I think that is very important. I've seen a lot of companies who do branding online different, and when you go to the store, the experience is different. Here I feel that the unified experience, not only from a customer's point of view, even from an organizational point of view, is very important. The customers look at the data when he goes online, the kind of stocks that he sees should be the same. It should be one view of the stock. So whether he's coming into the store or whether he's going to whether he's seeing it online, should be the same. The promotions should be the same. The loyalties should be the same. That is something that is creating that variant today. Along with that, I think the unified experience is also about connected loyalty. If I go into loyalties, when I'm going online, when I'm going into store, the loyalty should be able to talk to me. And also the phygital experience. Today we have got AI ways of, when you go to a store, try out something. Like if I'm going, the QR code is there. If I see that, okay, I wanted to cook something yesterday. If you go, I've seen that in China, they do it so well. Like you go and you see different types of meat. You look at the scanners, you just go scan and you know how to cook. Yeah. And it also tells you all the ingredients, and if you want, it'll just come into your app immediately. And it talks to you about what all is required to buy, what all you need to do. And if it's there on your cart, you can just push it and it comes in. That's a complete unified journey that's happening today. So in my opinion, when the customer and the organization both can see each other through an omni-channel view, that is the omni-channel unified experience that we are talking about, and that is yet to come. I don't see any organization who has done it completely. In bits and pieces, every organization is doing it. When that comes completely together, that'll be a complete omni-channel view that we'll see.
Yeah, no, I get it. Seamless is the easy word to say and said and done, but as you rightly mentioned, there are lots of integration, there's lots of things that you as a business will adopt, and that comes with commercial elements as well to it, right?
That's very true. That's, I think, the right place you have to, Prashant. I think it's not that the organizations don't have the intent. The commercials even today is so high that no organization is able to build that entire journey together in one place.
Absolutely.
Completely.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. To talk on the same line, right? My question would be to Habib from Danube Home, a brand that's been an iconic brand that's been here or been in the region for a very, very long time. My question is, in in your world of a different segment, how do you think is balance and innovation in terms of helping operation feasibility, and how is it going to be integrating with different channels that you operate in that segment of your core business?
Thanks, Prashant. Very, very interesting question. So, as you rightly said, Danube is one of the company where we have evolved dramatically in the last 20 years. So, like when you start with the building material, which is absolutely legacy business, then I moved to Danube Home. So, Danube Home is initially started with Danube Build Mart, so where we are selling the all building material products to the end users. Then we went to the completely D2C. So, what of the philosophy which we always try to implement is that, first of all, we want to do the innovation. You try to understand why I'm doing the innovation. And it is not that I want to do it to prove to someone or to do from the PR or do something. So you put your consumers at the center point and try to understand that why I'm trying to do the innovation. And in this, that you need to understand your operational reality also. Like, say, for example, today, when you say that I want to do innovation of AR and VR or putting in a sofa or putting in a bedroom, but does it really make the difference? Does it customer really understand that how it's going to work out? And is it going to make his life easier or no? So based on that, you find a balance that first, why I'm doing the innovation and what is the operational reality which can bring the balance into it. Yeah. So if I can give you the multiple examples, like 2-3 initiative which we have taken or innovation which we have taken, like say for example, we started the click and collect. So in our business model, the customer doesn't want to come and collect a sofa because sofa he wants to deliver installation, and here we do have a culture of DIY. So therefore, when you try to implement something, you realize that what is the reality, how much implication it has in my store, and based on that, I can try to implement the same. Whereas if a customer is trying to buying a cushion or buying a vases, then there maybe the things works out. Likewise, say for example, to make our sales people's life much more easier, we implemented something known as Hexa, where you take the complete 360-degree view of the product, and which becomes easier for the consumer, for the sales staff, as well as the delivery crew, that how I can implant the best services to the consumer. So to answering to your question, so we generally work on the 3 phases. Number 1 is that first you understand that whether you need this or no, and based on that you do the pilot. After do the pilot, you do the small test, and if it works well, then you scale it up. Okay. So then you find a proper balance that why I'm doing this innovation, what is my operational reality, and how I can impact to the consumer's life. So that is the philosophy which we try to implement.
Well, and so interesting. Again, to thought back, so your top of the pyramid would be your customers.
Absolutely.
So I know this is something off, but the customer data research, is that very crucial for you, and how easy is it for you to get it? Is it something which you have profile that you already have, because that's sitting on the top of the pyramid.
Yeah,
right?
So because end of the day, because for us, if you will see now, if I talk about the home industry, you divide a consumer to the 3 parts. Someone is that who is trying to buying a new house, then he need a complete furbishment of the house. Then somebody is just moving from one place to another, and the third bucket of the customer is really renovating the house. So based on that, you understand the customer whose stage he is in and what kind of product he needs. Yeah. Besides that, then the LTV, lifetime value of the customer, is much more higher, because one customer come to our store minimum 6 to 7 times in a year. Because you start with, assume that you are building your house, you come to the store first to buy bathroom fittings or tile. Yeah, after 3 months, you buy a kitchen. After 6 months, you want to buy furniture. So like that, and then you get an outdoor furniture when the winter season comes. So likewise, so if you don't have the right data, if you don't understand the consumer, you can't survive. So therefore, it is a complete 360-degree how you take it forward, understanding the consumer in a better way.
No, interesting. Thank you, Beef, for that. The other one which I would really want to ask is the audience, in terms of strategy and stuff, do you want to ask anything from these guys, or would you like to add something in your case, or anything for this segment that you think that you want to answer, or anything before I go to the next topic? Especially in terms of your strategy, or what has changed in your world after the pandemic in this. Any questions to them on this? You have? No? Okay. I'll go on next. The next topic that I've kind of talked about is everybody that we like and we always know is about technology and integration, right? Did rightly mentioned, every day there's new technologies, AI that everybody's talking about. They are talking about even future advanced tools of how AI is going to be implemented. So taking that as a topic, my question to Mark would be like, Mark, in Liva, in your business, how do brands leverage real-time and data, especially to enjoy that customer journey? So,
Yeah, very interesting question. My head of IT is here somewhere. There he is.
oh, he's there. Hi.
Yeah, he's there. So I was once told that 60% of all IT initiatives fail to hit their objectives. Is that true? It's quite scary, you see, because everyone plows a load of money and time and resource into those kind of things. So that's a headline that always stuck with me, and I've had that in my head for probably about 15, 20 years. But anyway, let's paint a little bit of a picture here so that you kind of understand the dynamics of how new these things or how not so new they are. Because the answer is that a lot of this stuff isn't new. It's just the methodology that's new. So I can give you the AI answer. So those of you who got the AI tools on your phones have already checked this question, I'm sure, and come up with all the answers. So, but I would like to connect this up with the human example, not just the digital example. So the normal stuff would be web interactions, in-store sensors, social signals from consumers on shares and likes and social media stuff, all that kind of stuff. So there's no doubt, I think, that technology has made things faster and provides huge amounts of data, but it's what you do with it ultimately, I think, that is the real test of success. And what about the human element? And the human element either digitally or the human element, i.e. physically. So if I paint, those of you that were around 20 years ago in this industry, it's not that long ago. So in 2005, 16% of the population had internet access. That's not a lot, is it? 20 years ago, not that long ago, 16% of the population had internet access. That's globally, and in Europe it was 48%. So today, globally it's 70%, and in Europe it's 94%. Now,
globally 70, is it? 70% globally, you said.
70%, 70% globally and 94% in Europe. And the adoption rates in the UAE in particular were way below that. They were not on international averages. So quite interesting. Right. So playback data, playback 20 years ago in terms of, because retailing's been around a long time, you know, and people have been quite successful over the generations. So 20 years ago, I ran a business that was losing £17 million a year, £17 million a year. In 24 months, we turned it to a 15 million profit through engagement and retention and with no internet, zero internet. So how did we do that? Oh, by the way, the average age of these customers in this brand was 65. So everybody thought, these people ain't going to change. They're not going to do things different, and they're not going to respond to anything we do because they've got one foot in the grave. Fundamentally wrong. So what we did, we changed the business model completely. We kind of employed direct mail. Remember when things came through your letterbox rather than in your inbox? Came through your letterbox, engaged with them 10 times a year, invited them to come and see us in a physical environment. We listened to what they talked to about product. They listened and told us what they wanted on price. They told us what they wanted on range. And hey presto, I had the entire management team in the business, and what we did, we actually made them implement exactly what the customers wanted. How clever is that? Not really, is it? You just give the customers what they want. At the end of the day, the fundamental principle of retail is to give the customer what they want, when they want it, at a price they're afford to pay. That's it, simple. So within 24 months, this business had revolutionized itself, and it was genuinely personalized, back to the point about personalization, but it was given real time in the physical sense, because people sat in front of you and told you. And back in the day, 20 years ago, we found something that they liked, which was, the wrapper was around cancer, believe it or not, because it was the Macmillan Cancer Trust, and they got behind that because they bought into it because they understood it. And we also used a personality that designed Lady Diana's wedding dress, and he did a range, and they loved it because they could associate. So all this stuff is kind of new, and in today's world, it's all a bit more modernized, but very similar. So today, everyone has loyalty, everyone has tech, everyone has acquisition and retention goals. So what's the difference? I think the difference is speed and data accuracy, and is it really personal? So if I get WhatsApp messages from where I shop, for example, and I get a message saying, hey MT, because I sign myself MT, or I get hey Tess, which is my nickname from people that know me, that doesn't make it personal. That tells me that a machine has done it, or it's a bit of intelligence, it's not an actual real person. So let's bring it back to Liwa's days and what we're doing now. So we've got a new brand in our business called LCC, L'Essentiel. It sounds a French name, but it's got 4 stores in London. We opened a store in the Galleria Mall in Abu Dhabi, and it's a partnership with a manufacturer, actually. And the reason we opened that brand is because 80% of the customers in London are Arabs, and most of them are from this region. So we reverse engineered the deal. We saw something that the Arabs liked in a foreign country and decided to bring it here because we've already got advocates. So we opened that store. It's been open 7 or 8 months now, and we will use any tool that we can to improve engagement, whether it be WhatsApp. And what we did learn was that they wanted genuine personalization. So we started off with WhatsApp messages which were generic, but they didn't want that. They wanted us to talk to them, to see them, and physically work with them on their specific requirements and go back to that 20-year-old analogy where you just give them what they want. So at the minute, that brand, although it's brand new to the market, not well known at all, 0 penetration in terms of brand awareness, we've got a 40% return rate already. So already customers have shopped with us 2 or 3 times. Thankfully, the business is ahead of its budget, and we're taking 85% margin. So I suppose I'm giving you a historical example and a more modern day example, different methodology, but ultimately exactly the same end result.
I mean, some great examples and numbers from you, Mark. Thank you. But we'll park this, and I'll have some more coming in the next to connect the dots over there. So my next thing on the same of technology, I mean, Hazel, I want to hear from your Ozon group, like, what role do you think that AI has enhanced these omni-channels in the current world? I mean, it is an open question, but there's lots from your perspective.
Yeah, I think it's much more easier and clear for our side to talk because like we're doing e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce as like within Ozon Global. So like for our example, AI, of course, all of us like in this like room uses AI for personal reasons, for business reasons, etc. But like in a sector like e-commerce cross-border, AI helps us create faster and more personalized shopping experience. And like lately, I think the time is the like most important thing for all of us. Like it's our new currency for everything. So like across web, apps, and marketplaces, this personalized and faster shopping experiences is the most important thing for most of the people. Also, like for example, in our own company at Ozon Global, we do not use AI just for the customer part. We use it for optimizing warehouse operations. What is that? Like, for example, like demand forecasting, smart routing. Of course, like this all started new. Like we're just like, it's like, of course, we don't have experience with that. We're trying, like we're making trials and everything, but this means that faster delivery and better stock accuracy will become across regions. And like, as we all know, like because of all the economical stuff going around the world, I think like keeping stocks, like controlling the stocks in cross-border e-commerce is getting harder and harder. The costs are changing and like all the variables are changing a lot. So this optimizing accuracy will be much more productive for all the companies like us, especially for cross-border e-commerce companies. And looking ahead, like AI will shift from reacting to behavior to predicting needs, like offering the right product at the right time, even before the customer wants it. I think like it will bring us the luxury to forecast better. Because of course, as like right now our like Ozon team is also here too, like from our product and from our key account management, etc. And our main time goes for forecasting the next quarters. Like right now, like for the past 2 days, like as a team, we've been seeing some sellers, some third parties, some like technology, like some integrators, and like we're trying to forecast what will come to us in the next quarter in high seasons and everything. So this will enable us to work in a more productive way. And like, it's not just like AI or computer systems or anything, it will help like the human resources to be much more productive in systems like us.
No, interesting, Hassel. On that, I mean, you talked about that core AI and tech. I have this question, Siddharth. I know we briefly met outside, and you did give me a very brief. So just wanted, is there some real insight examples on this? Because, sometimes we talked about the prompts that you need to do in terms of AI, right? In the retail world, I mean, is there some sort of examples that you think are these prompts so key key things that has to be enabled? And yeah, I want to just take your idea and pick your brains on this.
Yeah, no, happy to chime. I think three things have changed in the last, I would say, 6 to 9 months, far more rapidly than we have ever seen. We have the privilege of actually working with brands across retail, e-commerce, banking, and many sectors. The three things that have changed fundamentally are, number one, I think most organizations have gone through the cycle of keeping the data in one place, or at least getting better and better with the data part of it. That's one. Because for any real-time nature of intervention, you need good quality data, because that's what you need to pick from.
Yeah.
The second thing that has changed quite rapidly is availability of tools, which can process this, which can customize this, which can drive, which can just process it at scale. And the third part is the content that brands want to push out to every consumer. I think content has always been one of the biggest challenges, because that's where the constraints come in. How fast can you create content? How many different sets of content can you create? You need a design team, you need somebody else to actually come in and say, this is the kind of creatives that goes out, and so on and so forth. So these three, I think each of these three spaces have changed quite dramatically in the last 9 months. I'm sure everybody is experiencing them. So what this is allowed to do is, number one, the ability for somebody to not think of segments in clusters, or in what we call batch process, a blast which goes to thousands of people together. Now we are finding, for example, a retail, fashion retail brand, or a beauty brand, which we work with closely in Australia, moved from driving 20 segments to driving 200 segments.
Okay.
Now, just that change did not happen overnight, and it was not easy to do, because for 200 segments, then you have to have 200 pieces of content. You need to figure out which is the preferred channel of communication, whether it's a WhatsApp, whether it's an email, whether it is, an SMS, and so on, or it's on the app, so on and so forth. There are many permutations that are possible. But the fact that you now can use affinity-based segmentation to predict segments better, you can customize it, if not for n equal to 1, I think n equal to 1 is still a myth and still a little further away. But even if it's n equal to 10, right, that's good enough. So I think that alone drove a conversion rate uplift of about 4 times what the conversion rate was prior to
X4
that.
you're saying?
Yeah, so that's 4x conversion rate uplift, primarily because you became more relevant to the messaging that the consumer needed. But it took a lot of effort, right? Many things have to come together to make it happen. The other thing around engagement that has really changed is a lot of the brands are still low involvement, in the sense you engage, maybe say a trading app, right? You engage with these apps during the weekdays, because that's when trading hours are on. What do you do on the weekends? That is not used. Or in real estate, I mean, or in home building, you actually buy a certain set of things, and I'm just picking from what you said. The engagement cycle is clunky, and it happens over a period of time. But the ability to store data, to be able to engage consumers in the lean periods, and then drive conversions, that's what has really changed in recent times, and at least what we are seeing. So very hopeful, and we are actually seeing the results work right now on this at scale. But a lot of work needs to happen. So AI is helping, but I would say business case is being made.
Thank you, Sid. I mean, I've just briefly met Sid outside, and that's the reason why I picked up on the AI, and I really thank you for what you said. And really some good live examples, right? I'm sure there'll be more when you see that number of doubling up from 20 to 200. The complexity is there, and then bringing it down and filtering it. It is a complex task, but then how simplified it's going to be. Thank you for raising that. To customer experiences, everything, I mean, for us as leaders, we always talk about customer experience. That's the first and foremost important thing that we always bring into our agenda, right? To take that onto the point, my question to Mark is, again, Mark, clearly want to understand in terms of personalization strategy or driving loyalty, right, towards customer, what is your take on that in terms of some innovations that you have, within the Lever Minor?
Well, again, just talking about that point about loyalty schemes generally, I mean, effectively they're a leaking bucket. There's customers fall away at the bottom, and you need to throwing them at the top, because you've got to have enough data to be able to do something with. So I think that's quite interesting. Things are definitely more moving towards hyper-personalization, you could probably argue that. So it's not tiered points and it's not gold, silver, bronze and all that kind of stuff. People want things that are absolutely relevant to them. And I gave you the example a little bit earlier about the brand that we've launched, because if they think that they belong, if the consumer thinks that they belong, then I think the added value from them is significantly better. I'll add on that point that if our database in our business, in our Lever business, shops once more, just once more, our entire database shops once more, then we'll do our 2026 budget. I know that already. I just need one thing. So in terms of simple messages to the team, it's do that one thing. If our database shops once more, then we'll be okay. There's lots of innovative things around predictive and preemptive offers and reminders. I think probably everyone's familiar with the Sephora prompter around usage of products. So if you've got face creams or other beauty products, they kind of know on average how long it's going to take you to utilize that, so they'll send you a message to say that you need another one, which I think is fantastic. I mean, that's really good. You could also argue it's a little bit annoying. So you kind of there's a balance there, I think, between those two things. I think people want experiences, not discounts anymore. I think people are coming a bit wise to the scenario around discounts, because it is quite crude. But then the idea generation about what those experiences are then becomes a pressure in its own right. I think the younger population are certainly more concerned around social and community-based connectivity, which is something that years ago you wouldn't have to think about so much. It was purely transactional. So I think that does make a difference. And then there is this whole concierge element that people always think sits with luxury. But what's happened now, I think, over the years, as AI's helped and technology generally, is that people want a concierge even if they're paying 10 dirhams for something or 1 million dirhams. It's the expectation is there that they're treated the same. And I'll give you a real-time example. I'll relate it to your environment, F&B, because I think it's also quite interesting. So I go to a restaurant in DIFC quite often. So I book online, I go, I have my food, I do whatever, they have my phone number and they know who I am. So the last time I was there, the waitress said to me, "Oh, my name's Natalie." I said, "Hello, Natalie, nice to meet you." She served me before, by the way. And then she said, "Oh, we know all about you." I went, "Sorry?" So I was worried about my private life then for a second, but then that wasn't the case. She said, "Well, we know how many times you come. We know what you eat. We know which drinks you like. We know how many people we bring with you. And then I can recommend all these things to you so that I know that you're going to be happy and you know you're going to be satisfied." So I said, "But you haven't done any of that." So she said, "Yeah, well, the reality is I'm a bit embarrassed to do so." So she has all this information at her fingertips. She knows everything she needs to know to probably upsell me things, sell me different things. But the kicker here is she had all the tools, but she failed to use them.
Well, I mean, I'll end with something of my F&B experience to add to what Mark was saying. I want to ask this again to Devanshu. In Mark and Save, right? Customer experience you talked about at the beginning. How do you think that consistency and customer is very important, right? And how do you think, or what is your take on how do you go through all that customer touch points?
Right. Let me start with an example. That is what I would like to showcase. Think, Pamela, you're leaving office and message pops up. You must be running low on low-fat milk. Would you like to order it, and we'll drop it by the time you reach home? And you think, okay, I'll just go to the store and pick it up. And while you're near the store, you're parking your vehicle, suddenly a pop-up comes. "Hey, Pamela, the granola that you love is back in stock and we have a 20% offer going on." And you remember, okay, yeah, the granola is also down. I need to pick that up. You enter the store, you do your shopping, you pick up some things, and then suddenly light beeps up on the aisle. And you get to see some cornflakes out there on a special offer, especially for you.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, that's a great offer, I'll pick it up. Then you go to the cash counter and you don't have to take out your wallet. And your loyalty point comes in, your card is charged, and after your card is charged, you suddenly see a pop-up again coming up saying that we see you're running. If you need, we have the latest spandex available, and here's a special voucher for you at 20%. Now, what is this entire journey for a customer? All this data is available. Is the customer looking at separate channels? No, it's a unified channel, right? So customer is I'm getting to see the data. I know that basis the recency of the velocity of purchase that the customer has, she keeps on buying milk from me. So I'm going step by step out here. So we know that, okay, she keeps on buying milk from me. It's been 3 days, and today she's supposed to buy the milk. She's not bought it. She might forget. So I just send that. Now that is where I'm saying that I will do a delivery, but she does not want the delivery, but it's a unified experience.
Yeah.
She comes and gets that product, and then as she comes in, I know that she likes granola. She had been buying it from me for the last 2 weeks, and she every 2 weeks buys it. Last time she didn't buy it because when she visited my store, the granola was not available, or the pack that she likes, or the variant she likes was not available. So when she's near the store, I say that granola is back in stock. And I'm giving a special offer. There's a 20% offer for you. She feels, oh yes, I had to pick that up. Because she might have picked it up from somewhere else. She'll not wait for me.
Yeah.
But now she sees I'm getting a special offer for her. When she's walking the aisle, she remembers that, you have a kid, right, Pamela? So probably you'll think that, okay, I needed to pick up some cornflakes for him. And that's when that beep comes. Because it's a specific offer made only for her. She is not looking at separate channels. It's a unified channel, unified experience all through. I'll give some examples. Like he was talking, I heard him talking about, Mark was saying about Sephora. Sephora uses the data so nicely.
Yeah.
They look at your historical data pattern and they will recommend products. But they have gone one level beyond that. They even look at your skin tone. That also is data with them. According to your skin tone, what will work? Right. That is one type of data that Sephora works on. If you look at Nike, when you buy a shoe at Nike, we just give our points and we have the Nike downloaded app. Yeah. They know the running that you're doing. So according to the run, they also keep on integrating and keep on sharing what are the latest shoes coming in. They keep on telling you about what are the type of workouts which will work out for you. All that data is there on the app. Gone are the days when we used to go to a Starbucks and they used to just write your name and you felt special. That's not the day anymore, right? Yeah. So things have gone beyond. So I feel, even look at Amazon. Like Amazon does free shipping worldwide in every country. If you're a member of Amazon Prime, they do it. What is the next thing that they've done? They've done the Amazon wardrobe. I don't know how many are aware about it. The Amazon wardrobe talks about you, like you start looking at, in many countries they've already started it, that it gives you the AI technology to see the dress on yourself. And once they captured that data, they know the color, the background, which type of dress you wear in a party. They start pushing recommendations on that. Even they started this long back on the Amazon Prime books. That's where they started from. But now it has gone to a level higher where they give you access to books which are about to be launched at a discounted price, but they know you will like that book. Yeah. That is the kind of omnichannel personalization that has come to. And you started off saying that being in Mark and Save, how do you think? This is what I would really believe in building now.
No, brilliant. Thank you. I mean, it's the touch points, right? It's a moment of, like, you were giving examples of how you're able to understand that customers reflects and do it. It's similar in restaurants. I'll probably touch and give some examples when I close this. Vijay, who heads the concept brands, Vijay, I want to ask you this, right? From understanding this, in your strategies, from your perspective, right? What shift have you seen in omnichannel, specifically after the post-pandemic
Good afternoon. We have seen many changes, especially after COVID.
Yeah, especially with customers, right? That, like how Devanshu was talking about those few touch points with customers and card and examples, just to see here. Yeah.
So I would say before COVID, customers, they were buying product or the brand or what they want. But things has been changed drastically. Now I think they are buying more emotions. It's more storytelling. So what you see in media, they end up buying.
Yeah.
Or for example of Labubu, it's a normal character doll. Yeah. But today I think everybody wants to own that. Yeah. Or Dubai chocolate, Kunafa. Yeah. It's a chocolate, but today you see the whole, it's become a global chocolate. Yeah. It's invented here in Dubai, we are so proud. So it's more emotion, especially after COVID. And quick commerce. Everybody wants to have everything quick. So it used to be you go to the stores, one store, second store, third store, and spend some time. But today, like for example, anything you want to order is just 15 minutes away.
Yeah, agree.
So I'll give you an example. Last week I was sitting with my daughter and she wanted to go for hot chocolate. By the time we decided to the place, the chocolate was already at my house. So things has been changed. It's more quick commerce, more e-commerce, more emotion-driven business now. What you see in social media, you want to have, even though you may not need it. But just because he have, I want to have the same thing. So things has been changed, especially after COVID, and the business is growing, sure.
So I think the key is, emotions, right? You want to really understand the
Yes.
customer emotion, and that's where
It's
you
more
want to play.
emotions, yes.
I
And storytelling, So,
Exactly.
so everything you have a story, you end up buying.
Yeah. I was just trying to give you a simple, I know there's a bit of a timeout, but I will ask for some more time, but there's something important which I want to say is, yes, to answer, right? In the F&B world, I can talk about your brand, that how far they've gone with AI is, a customer walks into the restaurant, a waiter or a person knows what is his preference, which table he wants, what food he had the previous day, which is his favorite table, what's his average bill for the last 10, 15 days, and doesn't ends there. And from an operator perspective, it also tells me my inventory of this particular Friday on this particular day of the day. Region has got this, so there is a cheese demand. It also tells the chef or my manager this much of stocks I need to have, or this much of beers I need to have, for example, or this much of Cokes. So you're right, absolutely. Before a customer walks in, we already have this data, and then how are we going to play with those emotions and see how your average basket volume is going to be high and stuff. On that customer journey, I think, do I have time? Or there is still time? Yes, there is time. Okay. Pamela, I want to ask you this question. In terms of future trends and innovation, right? Because AI, we talked about customer and future and trends. What is your take on physical store evolving to the digital first? Where is your take? Because there's a big shift right over there in terms of a role of being a physical store slightly evolving itself to be the digital first. So what is your take, Pamela?
Yeah, thank you. Certainly, the digital first is a huge trend we're all seeing in every way, but that doesn't mean that the physical stores don't have a bright future going forward. And we're all so lucky that we have businesses here in the Middle East where we have thriving retail shopping malls, so we know the future's bright. But really the future of the physical stores will be physical plus, probably not quite like we see them now. Three of the key trends for retail we were looking at this year was about, of course, phygital is super important, which is a whole omnichannel experience. Customers are looking for an absolute experience, as what Mark said, super important, and about the community integration as well.
Yeah.
So why are the customers going to come to your store? Because it's so much more convenient just to sit at home in your lounge room and order. Yeah. So what is going to make them keep coming back as the digital gets more important? And the delivery times, people are now talking about 60 minutes. Oh my gosh, So it's so critical that customers are actually having a real experience when they come to the store. And I think we still have a lot of retail in our region full of simple, low-level shop assistants who are not really able to give a brand experience, or how are the staff actually communicating the products in a meaningful way that's talking about what benefit that product will give our customer. Why should they buy it? How are they giving information that's targeted to that and tailored to that customer's needs that's different than what they can read online? And that's what's going to be really super important. And the other thing that's going to be pushed so much by the online ease and convenience is customers will be less tolerant of stockouts. I know that already. I'm much less tolerant. I go to my favourite cosmetic brand. If they don't have my average coloured skin tone and lipstick, I'm like, well, what are you doing? This is so basic. Why did I bother coming? I should have shopped online. So the whole stock side is going to be so super important. In the digital world, we really need to be having a look at how are we communicating to our customers online, and is that actually giving them that seamless or unified experience that our panelists have been talking about here. And so we had a very interesting experience recently where we did a social media campaign where we tried to look at, okay, what are those key trends about what's the experience in store? How do we integrate with the community? And how is it that customers are going to feel that what they saw on the social media is going to match in store? So as a result of that, we've done a strategy where we're actually featuring quite a lot of videography and reels in our store so that there's a direct relationship to that as customers come in. And recently we had a fantastic example of that where we did a reel for Emirati Women's Day. We did it in the store with local Emiratis, showing the experience of shopping in the store, because we're going to show that online, seeing the actual store photos and being integrated with the community, because we were really celebrating what it is about Emirati women and Emirati Women's Day. And the results from that were phenomenal. We had, I think, 930,000 people saw it. It was only for UAE, but also about 6,000 people actually shared that video, again showing how important it is to be community integrated and really, showing the experience in the store as well. And the last thing I'll say, because obviously I won't get to talk again because I'm almost last, is just I want to leave you with a question, a thought for you. And what my thought is if it's a digital first world, then what really is your retail showroom? Is it really a retail shop, or is it your e-com showroom?
I think
Yeah,
it's a
because
mix,
e-com's
right?
the
So,
future.
wow, that's a long bus.
Yeah.
I think in that retail thing, right? I think emotions and there's lots of connections where we talk about customer and the whole journey as we adapt. And I'm sure most of these business have put, strategies and had a vision and looked at technology to embed this together. I think I have one question to you, Pamela, is if you were to give one advice, sorry guys, if you were to give one advice to retailers, what is the advice that you would give in terms of the omnichannel? Just one piece of advice.
One advice. Probably the most simple advice that often gets overlooked, and that is that you need to look at how you structure your sales culture. Because if you really want to be omnichannel, then your sales staff in the store have to be really happy to lose that sale to e-com. Super important. And you can't have separate teams. And so the way we handle that is we double incentivize. So if someone from the store does the sales work, the introduction, and that big order goes to e-com, both teams will get it, because you can't have any competition within the business. And also, if it's really omni-channel, then your people in your retail store should be encouraging your customers, that they can actually buy that again next time online, or they can see more online and actually be talking about it. If it's really you're looking to tell the customer about all the ways that they can easily deal with you. And that's something that we've found works really well.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you, panelists. Mastering Omnichannel. I think I will end with just a few things. I've just written down for what you said. I think mastering omnichannel, I would say, is all about empathy, agility, meaningful connections. And I think we all can go back and let's continue to innovate and bring this retail experience back to this region. Is there anything from the audience that you want to ask these ladies and gentlemen, anything about, or if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask this well-experienced team here? No. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.